Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
All right, hour two, wild breaking news day. LeBron and the Lakers relationship is officially over. He will pursue other opportunities. The Lakers are moving on to acquire in free agency actual needs. Their need is not a 41-year-old. Their need is a rim protector. Their need is two more athletic wings, and they couldn't do it and sign LeBron James. We've been talking about this for months. The franchise now is J.J. Redick, Luka, and for the time being, Austin Reeves. The Lakers got him for 4 years, not 5, meaning after a year or two, they may move him if things don't pan out. And I would say this about LeBron James. When you bring Tom Brady to your organization in his 40s or LeBron out of his prime in his 30s, he both more than delivered. You got a title. LeBron made 8 all-star teams, all NBA 7 times, got a conference finals twice, was always available, had 1 year where he was a little dinged up. LeBron, let's not crap on him. Now, I do believe Brady at the end could have still played for another 2 or 3 years, and I think LeBron's got 2 or 3 more years at a high level, 21, 7, and 6 last year. Only 4 other guys in the NBA did it. But I will stand by what I said an hour ago, and I firmly believe this, and I keep repeating it because my audience comes in and out. Very few people listen to 3 straight hours, is that the Lakers with a new ownership, I don't know if Jeannie Buss would have had the courage to do this. Smart, but I don't know if she'd have had the courage. They were clinging to a bygone era. The new ownership, they moved off Manny Machado. I mean, they have moved off all-star level batting title guys, Corey Bellinger guys. They've moved off them. The new owners did not want to sign LeBron, but they didn't because they knew they have to be in the Rich Paul business for 30 years. They don't want to create fissures in that relationship. So the Lakers are allowing Rich Paul and LeBron to win the day. Suddenly there's all sorts of stories. The Cavs want him. The Heat want him. The Warriors are negotiating. That's how you do it. Sometimes you let the employee bang on the corporation. That's what you do. You let the employee win for a day and vent. And you as a corporation, last thing you want to do is get in a bad spot with Rich Paul. LeBron's got friends and allies. Let those guys today win the day. The report this, I saw the Lakers release this. LeBron was a cherished member of the family. This one hurts. This one stings. They made a decision. I was told this years ago by a really smart guy, probably the smartest guy probably in my business. He said, companies make a decision, Colin, and this will happen to you 6 months to 9 months before you find out what they plan to do. They have meetings, off-sites. They've already decided what to do with you. Your job isn't to try to guess what they're going to do. You have to have a second plan too, just in case. So LeBron's no dummy. Rich Paul knows this. This was always potentially, the Lakers made this decision up. This was not something that Rob Pelinka was sitting there, looking like Rob Lowe, and all of a sudden picks up the phone. What? You're not coming back? You going to the Warriors? Guys, LeBron's not coming back. This is all understood. The Lakers are letting Rich and LeBron win this. Go out, say there's a bunch of interest. I want Rich Paul on my side next 30 years. I want him on my side. He's going to have guys that I want to sign. With that, Nick Wright joins us. What a day. I thought we were going to talk soccer because yesterday was the best day of soccer I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It was insane.
It was unbelievable.
So let's start with this. I think the Lakers, everywhere LeBron's gone, Miami, they're finals to awful. Cleveland twice, great to awful. The Lakers won't be as good next year. Even if they sign Duran, they're not going to be as good. Even if they sign Walker Kessler, they'll go 53 wins to 43. I do think long-term, they need a center. I mean, good God, look what OKC's doing. They drafted Mara. They've already got 2 bigs. Yeah. I do think long-term it's the right play. It'll hurt for a year. Do you agree with that premise?
I mean, I don't trust the Lakers to be able to build a team around Luka. They couldn't build a team around LeBron. They had a championship level team because LeBron got him Anthony Davis. And while, LeBron then was very influential in them getting Russell Westbrook, which was a huge mistake, obviously, the Lakers decided, since the Russell Westbrook thing didn't work, to just punt on multiple seasons of being able to contend. And there's people 7 months ago when it looked like LeBron was finally on a significant downslope, and we saw the long ESPN article where Jeannie Buss was reportedly talking about basically how annoyed she was that the LeBron era was continuing. Well, be careful what you wish for, because the 41-year-old in year 23 was the only guy of your stars available come the playoffs. And while we talk about injury risks, LeBron's been eligible to play in, I think, 212 playoff games, and he's played in 212 of them. And so I am very, very curious, because I agree with you, Colin. They have been ready for the LeBron era to move on.
Yes.
And because of that, they did not try to fully contend their first postseason with Luka Doncic. They did not try to fully contend their second postseason with Luka Doncic with this incomplete roster, and then whispering to all their friends in the media, well, the LeBron thing, the albatross of a guy who's a year removed from being sixth in the MVP voting, making a little more than Zach LaVine. How are we supposed to compete with that? Okay. And now you've got all this beloved cap space, and the best free agent available is your guy, Norman Powell. I don't know if that fixes anything. You're going to hear a lot about how Matisse Thybulle, who couldn't get on the court for the Blazers last year, is going to come and fix things for the Lakers. Jalen Duren is not going to L.A. Walker Kessler might. And somehow we live in a world where $50 million for LeBron James cripples your team, but $160 million for Walker Kessler is the path to excellence. We'll see. Here is what I would imagine happens. Rob Pelinka and the Lakers once again field a mismatched, not totally complete roster that Luka and Austin lift to a level, and then they start explaining to everyone, no, don't worry. It's part of the plan. Because you know what other great players' name ends in an itch and they have a relationship? Old Nikola Jokic. Jokic in a year. Just wait. Yes, are we punting on, half of Luka's 20s? A third of his prime? Maybe, but just wait till 2027. I think there is a more than 50% chance that the best teammate Luka Doncic has in his entire career with the Lakers is 40-year-old LeBron James last year. And they didn't maximize the roster then. Now it's some pipe dream that because we have cap space, we're going to maximize it. Nobody, the last all-NBA player, Colin, to hit free agency was in 2019. Cap space is not how you build a team anymore, but good luck, God bless, Lakers. It was a good run with LeBron. He saved your franchise, and you won a championship, but I am not optimistic that they are going, like you said, oh, no, they won't be better next year. Oh, yeah, just punt another year of Luka Doncic's prime. It's a great plan. We'll see. I don't believe in their plan.
Now, I don't think LeBron is a huge market. My take was going to be that Miami was going to call him and say, we'll take Bronny. We need him. He'll play. He may start games at point. We'll take Bronny and you. We need a play facilitator. I think he fits in Miami. I know there's been bridges burned, but he does. I do think Golden State would be fascinating. The movie poster alone is great. I don't think LeBron wants to play in Cleveland or Detroit. I don't buy that. Do you think there's a landing spot that if I said he signed somewhere in 48 hours, what would you guess?
What would I guess or what do I want? Can I tell you what I want and then what Golden State, if Anthony Davis is also there, is the most fun. Yeah. That team, if you turn injuries off, can win the title. Now, it's very odd because Draymond, the injury risk is indirectly correlated to the age of the stars. Of those four guys, if that were the starting lineup, take Pods out of it. The most reliable from an injury standpoint is probably Bron. Second most Draymond. Steph, third. And AD, who's the youngest of those guys by a decent margin, is the biggest concern. But that team, if you are the San Antonio Spurs, that team's a pain in the ass. It's like, man, you're like Draymond's going to beat Wemby up and AD is going to be there
Right. The
for
Knicks were
help-side
old.
defense.
The Knicks
Correct.
were old veteran bigs. I mean, New York pushed them around. This team could push you around a little bit.
Right. Now, listen, AD is very, very fragile and has had some bad injury luck. So that's the most fun option. The second most fun option is Miami because LeBron fixes a lot of their offensive issues.
Yeah.
But that team still is light on shooting. LeBron wouldn't have to worry about the defensive end if you have Giannis and Bam. And then to me, the third most fun option is a third stint in Cleveland if they also find a way to move James Harden. And then those are the only three places, Colin, I think are realistic. If we remove realistic and just say best fits, our mutual friend Bill Simmons said this yesterday, and he's 100% right. The team that could use him the most and would be right now the defending champs had they had him is the Spurs.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I will be veteran, Jason Kidd on the Mavs, times 100 running your offense. And I also think the Nuggets, obviously could use him massively, but I think the Warriors are most likely. If they don't get Anthony Davis, Colin, I don't think they have enough defense, but LeBron would really just be playing the role he played on the Olympics, which is the best player and table setter for everyone and closer, which it's really unbelievable. We should stop for a moment and recognize that this guy turns 42 this season, is headed into year 24, and we are realistically saying, which team does he make a championship contender? It's absolutely remarkable.
So I will say this, that as somebody that owns a tiny company, I think about this all the time, is that
medium-sized company. Well, it's not tiny. I mean, you got some good employees.
Yeah, like great employees. They're carrying me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one of them. But I did think the Lakers were pretty smart here. Is that they don't want to bury Rich Paul, and LeBron gave them 8 years. Okay, they're letting LeBron win the day. And
can we talk about the 8 years? Because I think this is going to be people are going to recreate history on it.
Do you think they were great?
Here's what I think. I think you put from a team success standpoint, not individual accolades, not make it about LeBron, from a team success standpoint, LeBron's tenure with the Lakers was identically as successful as Joker's entire career with the Nuggets, Giannis's entire career with the Bucks, Shea's entire career up to this point with the Thunder. All of those teams won one title, made one other conference finals, and that's the team success level. So if LeBron's tenure with the Lakers was a failure, then by that metric, Joker's tenure with the Nuggets, Giannis's tenure with the Bucks, or Shea's tenure with the Thunder is a failure. It's from a team success standpoint, it's laughable, particularly when you recognize before LeBron walked into the team, the Lakers had missed the playoffs 10 times since they were in Minneapolis, and 5 of those 10 were the 5 years immediately preceding LeBron arriving. And LeBron did what he did when he went to Miami, took a team that was out of the playoffs. They won a title in year 2. Cleveland, a team that was out of the playoffs. They won a title in year 2. Did the same thing with the Lakers. And as far as from an individual success standpoint, Colin, 7 All-NBA teams and a Finals MVP. Just for context, Moses Malone's entire career was 8 All-NBA teams and a Finals MVP. Dwayne Wade was 8 All-NBA teams and a Finals MVP. That's just LeBron's Laker tenure. It's unquestionably a success, and only because people are out of their minds would they try to paint it any way different.
Okay, so World Cup. Let's pivot to this. So Brazil had to go 95th minute to beat Japan. Netherlands passive lost. Germany not passive but couldn't finish it, lost.
Yep.
Take out one player Messi and one team France. Nick, I don't think I'm being an ugly American. We can beat anybody else. Messi would own us. I don't think we stack up. And France feels like the Seahawks. There are just too many athletes in their prime. I don't think we can compete. I think because of the political, economic, and soccer dysfunction in Europe, we have closed the gap. I think the gap gap with France and everybody else in the world is gigantic. Sure. I watched yesterday, and I'm like, Paraguay? I watched us dismantle them in 11 minutes. I mean, we can play with anybody not named Messi or France. Is that nuts?
Can we play? No, it's certainly not nuts that we can play with anybody. But the flip side of those games yesterday is you also better have your stuff together or you can get beat by Bosnia. The flip side is big underdogs can just, even if Germany outplayed Paraguay and lost because they didn't outplay them decisively enough, right? So it is a warning to not take Bosnia lightly. With that said, I know the transitive property in sports is not exact, but Paraguay did just beat Germany, and to your point, we beat them 4-1 and only played half the game with our best player, Pulisic.
That's right.
I do think that if the way the tournament is lining up, it should be the United States versus Spain in the quarterfinals, assuming we handle our business in the two games beforehand. We will be an underdog there. I think Spain's the fourth best team. I think the three best teams are France, Argentina, and Brazil.
But it's on our soil, and we'd be the underdog.
That's what I was going to say. You absolutely can win that game. Now, and this is the point Tim Howard made a few weeks ago, you can win that game. To do the 3-game parlay of play great and beat Spain, play perfect and beat France, and then play even better to beat Argentina or Brazil, that's a tough one to sell.
Right.
But you're up to this point in the tournament, if you were to just say, hey, judge these teams based on how they have actually played, and I don't think the Turkey A game's a disaster because it's your backups and you held your own.
Yeah.
I would argue only those 3 teams I mentioned in Argentina, Brazil, and France have objectively played better than the United States.
Now, you have Brazil.
Spain.
You have Brazil winning.
Brazil.
You have Brazil.
Yes.
I will say this. My entire life, I looked at Brazil. It was a dream team. I'm like, we don't have that skill. I watched Brazil yesterday. I mean, one of the things I'm finding out in this World Cup, do not play with your food. Be aggressive. Attack. Right. You Netherlands, the heat, whatever it was, they didn't get good shots on goal. Now, Germany
they were scared of Morocco. Netherlands was embarrassed. Netherlands, that was ridiculous. They basically said, we want to play for penalty kicks when they're supposed to be the better team. The other takeaway from that game, then I'll get to Brazil, is, and this, the African nations are 9 of 10 qualified. Yep. Morocco, or 9 of 10 that qualified, made the knockouts. Morocco, which is coming fresh off of semifinals, just beat one of the favorites. I think that the African nations are being maybe undersold, but in the Vegas odds and in the pundits' eyes, and they're having a great tournament. To your point about Brazil, here is why I think Brazil is undervalued. People see Brazil and they want to see what you and I grew up watching. Right. 6 of the best goal scorers in the world.
Right.
And this beautiful, artistic football where they can beat you 4-0, which is what France has. Yeah. Brazil, their makeup of this year's team is the best manager maybe in the history of the sport in Carlo Ancelotti, and then one of the best goalies, 2 of the best defenders, and one truly, truly special all-time goal offensive player, if you will, in Vinny Jr. So their games they are more likely to win 1-0 than 4-3, which makes them less, enchanting than France, which can score 4.5. But I think they are super, super dangerous. And let me add one other thing. This World Cup, where all of a sudden you have 5 subs instead of 3, and you essentially have a timeout at each half, managing will matter more than ever. Like the coach's ability to impact the game via substitutions or mid-half adjustments is more than ever, which is where I think Carlo Ancelotti and Brazil have an edge. I also, full disclosure, have, very, very smart, sharp, long-term futures on Brazil. So I'm invested in them winning this thing, but I think they can.
All right, good stuff. LeBron James exploring options. Golden State, absolutely, probably the leader in the clubhouse. Chris Haynes says Cleveland interested. Of course they are. They should be. Miami, I think it's a great fit. I said it's a little like Brady and Tampa. You get a title, you get relevance, you elevate, ownership. At the time, the Buss family, Glazer family, you're not quite sure about. All you can say is Brady to Tampa worked. LeBron to the Lakers worked. But you overcome a lot with both. They worked, and that's where I'll stand today. It's great to see you, my friend.
You too. It was great to see you in person down in Miami this weekend. We got to do that more than once every 2 years, actually see each other face to face. Also, I'm going to tell you this and then I'll go. If the audience doesn't know, I'm not going to say your age, but Colin it starts with a 6 and is in stunningly great shape. The TV doesn't do you justice. And my wife just couldn't stop bullying me about it afterwards.
What'd she say?
She was like, I bet you're not going to leave. The way you eat, the way you don't work out, to me. She's like, you're not going to look like that at 60. You better get it together. Just wouldn't stop bullying me. So thanks for that. Talk to you later.
That's the downside to marrying a beautiful woman. You have to, the standards you have to meet.
Exactly. I'm out here staying up late watching these World Cup games. You're getting up early and hitting the treadmill. It's unbelievable. I'll see you later, pal.
All right, Nick Wright. First things first has been before us, which Nick likes to, he likes to sleep in a little bit. That's not ideal for him, but the shows have been a riot. They've been really, really funny, and it's introducing them to a new audience. It's been wonderful. So LeBron's going elsewhere. When I do this show, there are certain things I want to see happen. I love LeBron's career, but Brady in Tampa was like fun. I know the GM, Jason Light. I'm like, oh, this is fun. They got good receivers. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, bring Leonard Fournette, Gronk, AB. Like, I was excited about Tampa. I was kind of, believe it or not, I thought there was some Belichick grumpiness, Patriot fatigue. I feel the same way. Like, LeBron Lakers, I'm done with it. LeBron Warriors, okay, that's a movie opening I'm going to attend. Roll out the red carpet. I'll go to that one. That's interesting. Lakers pivoting to the next generation of greatness. Whether the front office can do it or not, we'll see. Nick has doubts. I don't know. I don't have an answer. But I trust the new ownership because I've watched the baseball operation. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Dodgers take big swings. The Rams take big swings. Chargers finally hire Jim Harbaugh. Take a big swing. USC, we're going to go steal Oklahoma's coach. Big swings. Signing LeBron again was easy. That was the easy thing to do. Appease everybody. The hard thing to do was we're going to let LeBron walk. That was a hard thing to do. And let LeBron and Rich Paul win it for a couple days. Win the internet. I think a little uncomfortable in Laker land today. Not easy to do. LeBron's a mythical, iconic figure. Not easy. I'm not going to go on the interweb today, but I'm sure the end is near in Laker land. So Lakers front office, not my favorite. I think it's the right move. Eventually. In Chicago, it's the hurt.
All right, as predicted on this show,
The Lakers are going to let Rich Paul and LeBron James win the day. They left the Lakers. Literally, folks, it's just as predicted. Chris Haynes comes out. The Cavaliers want a reunion with LeBron James. They are very interested. Shams just tweeted, the Lakers expressed to James they wanted him back. But the NBA's all-time leading scorer decides to move on elsewhere on his terms. As predicted, this is the game behind the game. The Lakers did not really want to sign LeBron privately. A lot of organizations say things publicly. Remember, you got to do business with Rich Paul the next 30 to 40 years. You don't want to burn that bridge. Rob Pelinka, you don't want to burn that bridge. There's certain like in baseball, you don't want to burn the Scott Boras bridge. Scott Boras calls and needs 20 tickets. You don't have any, you find them. You just take care of. I just was talking to a baseball agent yesterday, random in the gym. There are certain agents in sports, David Falk back in the day in the NBA, you just take care of them. And this is a classic. Listen, we don't want to sign him. Everybody in the building. But Rob Pelinka will come out. Oh, this is hurtful. This one really stings. I won't sleep tonight. They need a center. They need another wing defender. I like LeBron. As the old cliche goes, two things can be true. I like LeBron. He's still a top 15 player in the league. On any night, he's a top 5. But he's redundant. They got Luka, Austin, and LeBron. That doesn't work. Nobody defends. They all need the ball. It's redundant. You look at Oklahoma City, man, they just fill slot after slot after slot. They got a little of everything. They got bigs, perimeter, ball handlers, defenders. They got 2 of everything. Lakers have a bunch of ball necessary play initiators. And so they're letting one go, the old one. And by the way, Yaxel Lendenberg for the Warriors, before the LeBron news came out, it's as if people with the Warriors had told him things are about to get interesting here.
They just want to know if I'll be able to play with LeBron, Steph, and Draymond. You know, that's all they kept telling me. And then, obviously that's going to be ridiculous. You know, you're playing with a bunch of guys that's been doing this for a long time, played with each other on the Olympic gold medal team and stuff. So, they're just trying to figure out, man, am I going to get a ring my first year? I would have to try to, be the energy, be the guy that takes all those extra plays so they can get some plays off. Try to be the spark on defense and, just be energy. Bring as much energy as I can and try to give them time to rest.
So I think, remember, the Warriors did small ball. That got them 4 titles. They did youth movement. Failure. This is the golden years tour. And just say it out loud. Porzingis, Draymond, Yaxel, Steph, LeBron, Pods, Moses Moody off the bench, maybe Anthony Davis. It has been reported, Mark Stein reported that the Warriors are pursuing LeBron today with no attachment to Anthony Davis. And the insinuation is Mark Stein saying basically they're going after LeBron. There is no caveat that you have to have AD to make it work. That was reported yesterday by a couple people. I don't know true or not, but it was kind of out there. LeBron will go if he has AD. Mark Stein saying, no. They're going to offer LeBron. We may not offer AD. So I think the team's interesting. I'm going to tell you, between Green and LeBron and Curry, you talk about functional. That offense, you got catalysts, ball handlers, size, toughness, experience, shot makers. That's interesting. That is, Ja Morant to the Blazers is not that interesting. It makes a headline 5 minutes later, I'm over it. This is interesting. Ja Morant, 7 years, won 1 playoff series in his prime. Surrounded by some pretty good players. But this kind of works for me. So Warriors lead, minus 500 odds, Cavs, Heat, Spurs. I think the Heat would be fascinating too. My contention's always been, LeBron doesn't have a huge market, but he has a market. But if you're joining us today, it was literally right in the middle of our first segment that it came out that LeBron and Rich Paul were pursuing other options. And my takeaway, sorry to repeat this, is that the Lakers had made a decision far before this morning to move off LeBron James. The new owners had made a decision. Guys, it's Luka, JJ Redick, Austin Reeves. Let's go forward. I think they signed one of these centers, Walker Kessler, Duran from the Pistons. Take your choice. But if you look at right now, go look at what Adai Mara getting drafted. Look at what happened over the last year. Look at the market for Giannis. Everybody's trying to get bigger. Everybody in this league that's good is trying to get bigger because everybody watched Robinson, Cat, and OG bully Wemby. By the way, OKC watched it and went, okay, let's draft Mara and re-sign Hartenstein. So everybody watched the finals, and the sharp GMs, the Knicks guys, they created it's a tug of war in the finals. They don't blow the whistle. You have to have a wall against Wemby, not one or two. OKC had 2. Knicks had 3. OG, Cat, and Mitchell Robinson. 3. So what did the OKC Thunder do? Sam Presti, brilliant guy. What's he do? He drafts Mara. So now we get a wall. That's the way to do it with Wemby because Wemby's only getting better. He's not going backwards. So the idea the Lakers keep LeBron and not get a legitimate center is nonsense. That's ridiculous. I just think I've seen this for years. I've always said in the NFL, there's about 8 great quarterbacks, 7 or 8 at any one time. And there's only 7 or 8 great coaches at any one time. And there's only about 7 or 8 great owners at any one time. And 7 or 8 great GMs. Everything's top heavy. International soccer, the NFL, and the NBA, these Dodger owners are elite. The Mets spend as much as the Dodgers do on an annual basis. The Mets stink. The Dodgers are unbelievable. So for years, my knock on the Lakers, it wasn't nothing against the players. It wasn't anything against the players. It was the ownership is too clubby. It's a family and friends front office. They're awful with analytics. They're second tier. They're not progressive. They're kind of, clinging to a bygone era. This is the Lakers breaking ties, saying, new ownership, new day, new way. I totally defend this. It may not be pretty for a year. 53 wins to 43 is probably what you're looking at for a year. Hey, who knows? Ja Morant may be available in 1 year. Who knows? What a day. I had so much World Cup stuff here. How about Paraguay beating Germany? If you watch that and still don't think we can compete for this thing, we're not beating France. And we couldn't stop Messi. Take one guy and one team out. I watched Germany. I'm sorry. We're close. Here we go on a Tuesday. Free agency around the corner. What a day. Perhaps the greatest day on American soil of World Cup soccer. Absolutely unbelievable tension. Unbelievable drama. And as an American, and America's honesty broker, let me spend the next 5 minutes on this. Stop complaining about penalty kicks. Sport's the most popular in the world easily, and it's not ours. In the knockout stage, which is where we are now, it was group stage, now it's knockout stage, you play regulation. And if you're tied, you go into 2 15 minutes normal soccer of extra time. A third more. The athletes are playing in the summer heat. They're exhausted. It's only after that you go to penalty kicks, which is maximum drama, maximum energy, maximum tension, using your greatest goal scorers. Stop at the NFL comp. Well, it'd be like ending a game with field goal kickers. They're the worst athletes on the roster. These are the best. And the goalies are great. The players are exhausted by the time you get to penalty kicks. If you just kept playing the regular way, that's what hockey does. Like we should ever follow hockey's advice. Hockey you just keep playing. You just keep playing. So your overtime in hockey can be longer than the actual game. Insanely idiotic. This stuff is great. Teams are out of subs. They're absolutely exhausted. So you basically go to the greatest goal scorers you have against these world-class goalies, and you have it out. It's fantastic. If it was up to me, I'd do regulation, 12 to 15 minutes, and then I'd go right to penalty kicks. I don't need all the extra soccer. Remember, college football and pro football, for years, they've all been tweaking overtimes because you're trying to reach a conclusion. And all you married guys, let me simplify it. Put the camera right on me. I'm going to simplify this for all of you. You ever sat there and your wife asked you 2 or 3 times over the course of a day to take the garbage out? And you get busy and you don't do it. And then about 4 or 5 o'clock before dinner, she takes the bag, cinches it up, and puts it right in front of the garage door or the door in front of the garbage cans. Why is your wife doing that? To heighten the drama and reach a conclusion, because the other way didn't work. The reason you go to PKs after regulation, after 15 minutes of extra time, after another 15 minutes of extra time is the athletes are fatigued. World Cups are in the summer. Now we're going to have them in Qatar. Athletes get hurt when they're fatigued. In the NFL for years, they don't want long overtimes because it affects the next outcome. The way soccer's been created, these European leagues, these South American leagues, the schedules are exhausting. You don't want them to just keep playing. They don't wear skates, where the skates do a lot of the work, and so does the ice. You're running around on a huge field. You're creating conclusions. By the way, Messi's only World Cup win came on penalty kicks. Italy, 2006, penalty kicks. Brazil, 94, penalty kicks. By the way, the greatest moment in the history of American men's or women's soccer, in my opinion, was decided on penalty kicks. Roll this boring tape.
She was so cool and composed, and she comes up and approaches it with her left foot and sends it into the side netting, and no keeper in the world is going to save that kick.
For the second time, the United States has won the Women's World Cup, and Brandy Chastain gets the game winner in the PK.
Oh, that was boring. Could barely get through that. Needed a couple of Red Bulls to get through the tape. Americans, don't jump on board every 4 years to this thing and try to figure out rigidity, compromise, do it my way. I mean, good God, baseball puts a man on base. They want to reach a conclusion. I mean, in Hollywood, they don't want to make a movie over 2 hours and 5 minutes. Reach a conclusion. Penalty kicks, well, Colin, it's not soccer. They didn't add a helmet or bats. It's soccer. You kick with your foot. One guy can use his hands. Ball goes in the net more than the other team, you win. That's soccer, champ. Penalty kicks are amazing. It's heightened drama. I don't want my athletes out of gas playing another 30 minutes because you know what happens statistically when you do that? You get fewer great shots on goal. That's the problem with athletes in the summer heat. They just keep playing and they keep playing and they keep playing. When you go to these extra time sessions, you'll find statistically you get fewer great opportunities. The athletes are shot. This is a great opportunity. This is energy. This is anxiety. This is drama. This is sudden death. I thought yesterday was the greatest day of soccer in my life that I'd ever watched, and the United States didn't play. I went this morning and I watched YouTube capsules, YouTube highlights of games I already knew the outcome. I already know who won the game, and that was nerve-wracking. Hey, you ever watch a movie that's so good you watch it again and you're like, kind of freaking out still. You're like, man, that's what we watched yesterday. It's unbelievable. Netherlands, very disappointed. Europe, very disappointed with outcomes.